A camera light cuts through black water, 600 meters down, where the sun has never reached. Something drifts into the beam, glassy, weightless, alive. For 100 years, we knew this animal only as a corpse. We knew it from beaks left in the bellies of whales, from torn arms hauled up in fishing nets, from a single giant body, dead, frozen, shipped to a museum. As of 2015, only around a dozen complete colossal squid had ever been recorded, and only half of those were adults. It is the heaviest invertebrate on the planet, up to 7 meters long, as much as 500 kilograms. It carries the largest eyes ever measured in any animal, recorded near 27 centimeters across. It lives in the coldest, darkest ocean on Earth. And until March of 2025, no human being had ever watched one alive in its home. So how do you lose track of a giant? How does an animal this enormous stay hidden for a century, in plain reach of every fishing line and whaling ship? And only now let us look? What we found, when we finally looked, was not a monster. It was a baby. Earth Mysteries presents the animal we named before we ever met it. The colossal squid. The story doesn't begin in the deep. It begins inside a whale. In 1925, scientists described the colossal squid from just 2 large arm crowns found in the stomach of a commercially hunted sperm whale in the South Atlantic. A whaler had cut open his catch and pulled out the remains of something nobody could name. The biologist who recognized them was E. Hamilton. The species was formally described that same year by Guy Coburn Robson and named in Hamilton's honor, Mesonychoteuthis hamiltoni. Think about what that means. We didn't discover this animal. We discovered what was left of one, already eaten. Our first encounter was a glimpse of leftovers in a predator's gut. And those leftovers raised a question immediately. The arms were huge, but the beaks told a stranger story. Over the following decades, sperm whale stomachs gave up more pieces. Some of the beaks recovered were far larger than the specimen scientists had described, which meant other colossal squid out there were much, much bigger. Every dead clue pointed to something living that we still hadn't seen. Then there were the hooks. Most squid grip with suckers. This one has swiveling, rotating hooks along its arms and tentacles, a grasping toolkit unlike almost anything else in the sea. It is the only member of the glass squid family to carry hooks on its arms at all. In the eye, when a complete head finally reached a lab, the measurement was almost unbelievable, a lens 12 centimeters wide. An eye around
colossal
27
squid's eye,
centimeters
the largest on
across,
Earth,
even
measuring
after
27
partly collapsing
centimeters.
in death and alive.
A light
Probably the
crosses
size
its
of a
dark
dinner plate
lens,
or
a
larger.
glimpse into
The
the
largest
abyss.
eye known in the animal kingdom. Why would an animal in total darkness need the biggest eyes on Earth? Hold that question. It becomes the whole story later. For most of the 20th century, the colossal squid was a creature of inference, a monster assembled from fragments. Scientists did this carefully and well. They weren't foolish. They simply had nothing else. By the early 2000s, only 9 specimens above juvenile size had ever been reported, and the biology of the animal remained, in their own words, poorly known. Its diet, its lifespan, how it bred, how it moved, all of it was reconstructed from dead tissue and educated guesses. It was, in a real sense, a ghost we had measured but never met. That began to change when the body started getting bigger. In 1981, a Soviet trawler in the Ross Sea snagged a nearly 17-foot colossal squid in its nets, and it wasn't even fully grown. In 2003, a New Zealand longlining vessel in Antarctic waters brought up a subadult. Examining it, scientists made a bold prediction that mature animals up to 500 kilograms could be down there. Some quarters greeted that with open skepticism. For years later, the skeptics went quiet. In February 2007, the longliner sent aspiring, fishing for Antarctic toothfish in the Ross Sea, hauled up an adult colossal squid. It weighed 495 kilograms, the largest ever recorded, and today, it lies preserved at the Museum of New Zealand, Te Papa Tongarewa in Wellington. We finally had the whole animal, but it was still dead. We had its body, not its life. For that, we needed to go down ourselves. On March 9th, 2025, exactly 100 years after the species was named, a research ship called Falker 2 was working the waters near the South Sandwich Islands, a remote, frozen arc in the
Depth holding
South
steady at
Atlantic.
1945
It was an
meters.
ocean
Look, the
census
feed's picking up
expedition,
movement.
out hunting
Confirmed,
for
adjusting
new
ROV for
marine
closer
life
view.
entirely.
It's a
Not for
cephalopod,
this.
documenting now.
Their remotely operated vehicle, Sebastian, was 600 meters down when something glassy passed through the lights. It was a 30-centimeter juvenile colossal squid, transparent, delicate, captured on video for the first time in its natural environment in the 100 years since the species was identified. A baby, nearly invisible. As one of the verifying scientists put it, it was humbling to realize the animal had no idea that humans even exist. And here is the question that footage forces on us. If this thing is so massive, so powerful, so heavily armed, why did it take a century, and a robot, and pure luck, to watch a single living one? The answer is hidden in four things: its eye, its enemy, its world, and its glass. Start with that impossible eye. Scientists hypothesize the colossal squid's eyes can detect a moving predator from beyond, 120 meters away, right at the edge of a sperm whale's hunting range. In an ocean of near-total darkness, this animal isn't using its eyes to hunt. It's using them to survive. The largest eye on Earth didn't evolve to see prey. It evolved to see something coming. And the thing coming is the largest predator with teeth that has ever lived: the sperm whale. This is the oldest relationship in the story, older than our science by far. The evidence
Squid
is written
hook
in
scars
scars
mark
and
the whale's
stomachs.
skin.
Sperm whales
Each
carry the
circular
marks
ring
of these
tells
squid.
of a struggle.
And colossal squid
Beneath,
remains turned
muscles
up again
shift with the
and
current.
again inside the whales. Predator and prey locked together in the dark for millions of years. But here's the strange twist. The squid is essentially deaf to high frequencies, including the whale's sonar clicks. It likely can't hear the hunter at all, so it stakes its entire life on vision, on those vast eyes catching the faintest disturbance of light before the jaws arrive. An arms race fought in silence and blackness. Sonar against eyesight. The whale sees with sound. The squid answers with the biggest eyes evolution ever built. Now pull back and look at where this happens. The colossal squid lives in the Southern Ocean, the band of frigid, crushing water that rings Antarctica. Not flat, like a map. It's a vertical world, kilometers deep, three-dimensional, and almost endless. When the 2025 squid was found, it was during a 35-day expedition that also turned up new hydrothermal vents, coral gardens, and creatures researchers suspect are entirely new to science. Weeks earlier, the same team had filmed another squid never seen alive before. The glacial glass squid, near a Chicago-sized iceberg that had just broken from an ice shelf. This is the real scale of it. The colossal squid isn't hiding in some secret pocket. It lives in the largest, least explored habitat on the planet, and we've barely glanced inside. And then there's the body itself. That juvenile was see-through for a reason. Colossal squid belonged to the
Ammonium-rich
glass.
buoyant tissue zones
Squids,
glow
a
softly.
family that
The
stays
call-out
buoyant
draws
using
on, highlighting these
ammonium-rich
adaptations.
tissues and keeps.
The body hangs neutrally
Semi-transparent
suspended in the
bodies.
water column.
In the deep, transparency is a cloak. You cannot be hunted if light passes straight through you. But it doesn't last. As the animal matures, scientists believe it loses the glassy look, its muscles thicken, and it turns opaque, deep reddish brown. The baby we filmed and the 500-kilogram giant at Te Papa are the same. Creature at the opposite ends of a life we have never once watched unfold. We have the first page and the last page. Everything in between is still blank. Here's what should stop you. Every time we've met this animal, it's been by accident, and usually because we were taking something else from its world. A whaler's
In 1925, the whaling knife was a key tool in the industrial whaling era. By 2007, the long line hook became central to modern deep-sea fisheries, leading to widespread bycatch.
A century on, squid expert Dr. Kat Bolstad says we've mainly known it from whale and seabird stomachs. And as the rival predator of the two fish we fish for, we've reached into its home over and over, never to see it, always to catch something. That's part of why the live footage matters so much. Researchers explain that you cannot understand the biology or behavior of an animal you've only ever seen dead, dragged to the surface, out of the deep midwater that is its real home. And people feel it. The single complete specimen in Wellington has developed something close to a cult following. A dead animal in a tank, drawing crowds who want to stand near the one true giant we managed to keep. The colossal squid is a mirror. It shows us how little of our own planet we've actually seen. We mapped the moon before we filmed this. We named it before we met it. 100 years after its discovery, We still don't know its diet, its lifespan, or how it reproduces. And it is not small, not rare in some trivial sense, not subtle. It is the heaviest invertebrate alive, and it slipped through our fingers for a century. The scientists who found it say that's exactly the point of the ocean census, to understand ocean life before it's gone. We are now learning to watch the deep with robots, high-resolution cameras, and patience at the very moment that deep is changing, as the ice it lives beneath breaks apart. So why did it hide for 100 years? The honest answer, and the one the experts now give, isn't mysterious at all, and that's what makes it beautiful. As Dr. Bolstad puts it, these animals live in an enormous, remote, dark, three-dimensional world, and they are probably actively avoiding us. It was never hidden from us. It was simply living somewhere we couldn't follow. Too deep, too dark, too vast, too sparse, and equipped with the best eyes on Earth to notice anything large coming close, including a research submersible. The 2025 sighting wasn't a triumph of searching. It was, as the team admits, serendipity, a young squid that drifted into the light by chance. The big question has its real answer. We didn't see it because of where and how it lives, and now we finally have the tools to look. But one honest mystery stays open, right at the edge of the light. We have watched this animal as a transparent newborn. We have weighed it as a half-ton adult. We have never seen the journey between, how it grows, how long it lives, how it mates and dies in the black water. That whole life is still unwritten. Go back to that beam of light, 600 meters down. A small, glassy animal drifts through it. Hook soft, eyes already enormous. Utterly unaware that on the surface 100 years of human curiosity have just been answered by its passing. It doesn't know we exist. It doesn't know it's the first of its kind we've ever watched breathe. It will sink back into the dark, grow heavy and red and powerful, and live out a life no human will likely ever follow from start to finish. We have known this giant for a century, from its beaks, its scars, its silent corpses, and only now, for 30 seconds, in a cold sea at the bottom of the world, did it let us see it alive. The ocean kept this secret in plain reach the entire time, which makes you wonder, quietly, standing at the edge of all that black water, what else is down there, drifting through the dark, that has no idea we're looking?